It's Friday. Welcome back to Waxing On. And today, as you know, on Friday, just about anything goes. And today I found something in the old treasure chest that some of you might be interested in. I know some of you are going to recognize them, but there might be a few viewers out there that have heard me talk about them, but really have no idea what I'm talking about. Yes, it's the cassettes. Just follow the 8 tracks. Before we hit CDs, this was our transition, the old cassette. A little closer look, a little tape inside there. Not as bad at getting jammed up as the old 8 tracks were. Easier to fix because you can get in at them. As some of you may remember, an old pencil in the hole, and you can twist that tape back in and be good to go again. So anyways, I found a couple of cassettes over the last week, and both of them feature all-star bands paying tribute to one of the legends. First one, Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll, Chuck Berry. And the second one, I'll try and get that, it's a white one, hard to see, the London Howlin Wolf Sessions. Now, we'll take a look at Chuck Berry first. Late 1980s, 1987 or so, Taylor Hackford made a film, and it was Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll, taping this tribute concert to Chuck Berry. Now, to give you an idea who showed up to play on it, it was really a who's who of rock and roll. We got obviously Chuck Berry's leading it, but Keith Richards is there, Roy Orbison, Bobby Keys, who did some work with the Rolling Stones, or a lot of work with the Rolling Stones, Steve Jordan on drums, Eric Clapton, Robert Cray, Linda Ronstadt, Etta James, Julian Lennon, and Joe Walsh. That's a real all-star lineup. And some of them were just playing behind. Some of them were featured in duets with Chuck Berry. Just to give you an idea of some of the tunes they were performing. Roll Over Beethoven, well, we had Robert Cray on guitar, assisting him there. Almost Grown, Back in the USA, Chuck Berry and Linda Ronstadt. And really, if you've heard this, that song was just made for Ronstadt. It's just a classic performance she puts out here. She also recorded it on one of her own albums, and again, just as excellent. So, 2 different versions here, but well worth listening to. Sweet Little 16, Nadine, Johnny B. Good. We've got Julian Lennon contributing vocals with him on this one. Memphis, Tennessee, Little Queenie, Brown Eyed Man. We've added Robert Cray again, only this time on guitar and vocals. Too Much Money, No Particular Place to Go. One called Wee Wee Hours with Eric Clapton, guitar and vocals. Rock and Roll Music, they started adding a few more people. Got Etta James in there on vocals. On Clapton, Cray, Keith Richards, an all-star guitar section in behind. So some great features there. And School Days, which also featured Eric Clapton, Robert Cray, and Joe Walsh. It's an excellent album. I mean, it's a greatest hits album, but it's also a tribute album with some of the greatest musicians backing up Chuck Berry or his guests on the performance. So if you get a chance to check it out, it was a movie soundtrack, but it stands alone as a perfect album, Chuck Berry's Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll. Now the other album is similar in the way that it's a tribute album. And again, it was the London Howlin Wolf Sessions. And let's just see who's playing on this one. Why, we have Eric Clapton back on guitar, Steve Winwood on piano and organ, Bill Wyman, bass guitar, Charlie Watts on drums. Some great performers from the Rolling Stones. Now, this one, the songs may not be as familiar. Depends how much you're into the other blues, but I'll just give you an idea what he's playing. Rockin' Daddy, Ain't Superstitious, Sitting on Top of the World, Worried About My Baby, Poor Boy, Who's Been Talkin', Red Rooster, which a lot of you may recognize as the tune that Mick Jagger really excelled on. Rolling Stones did a tribute to Howlin' Wolf with this song. Do the Do and Wang Dang Doodle. Now, not a lot of songs here that I see that are actually written by Howlin' Wolf, but ones that are closely associated with him. And again, an all-star backup band. So both albums tribute to great musicians, but with an all-star band that are in there chipping in, making these albums worthwhile. We've got the London Howlin Wolf Sessions, Chuck Berry's Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll. If you get a chance, check them out. Okay, guys, another week of the pandemic behind us. We now have the vaccine available, so they'll slowly be rolling that out to people. But until that time, I just, again, like ask people, wear your mask, keep your distance from everybody else. Let's try and put an end to this thing. It's been a long time. I mean, here we are January, and we went into isolation middle of last March. So hopefully we won't be too much longer. We'll all be back and be able to enjoy some live music and getting together as musicians and, playing together again. But until then, still be vigilant. Don't let it get you down. We're almost there. And everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.